Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Lara, a clinical pharmacist specializing in functional medicine, as well as a certified yoga teacher and Reiki master. I run a truly integrative health coaching practice encompassing functional medicine lab testing, yoga and meditation, and a sprinkling of Reiki energy medicine. Join me here on Light Body Radio to break through your health plateau and come into alignment with your natural vitality. Hello and welcome to Light Body Radio. I am your host, Dr. Lara, and today I have with me Harkleroad. She is a #1 best-selling author, speaker, and mind change expert. She's a mother of 4, which is her greatest claim to fame, she says. Jenny is a big-hearted entrepreneur and business leader. She built a business in San Diego 13 years ago, producing double digits in the millions. With the power of the mind, she overcame her past of chronic pain, addictions, bad relationship, happiness. She never knew how sweet life could be until she changed her mind, and that changed everything. Jenny has a dramatic story to share, breaking her back on a mountain cliff, and that event changed everything and gave her a ferocious appetite to transform lives and help others create what's missing in their lives. Welcome, Jenny.
Thanks, Dr. Laura. Excited to be here with you today.
Well, I'm excited to hear your story. So let's start with that, and then we'll just move through all of the wisdom that you brought with us today.
Sounds good. So the main part of my story, the big traumatic day and transformation, really started on August 10th of 2013. I was standing on this mountain ledge with my husband. We'd been hiking with family and friends, and we had got to this ledge and we were kind of separated from the group. And my husband looked down and he said, you know, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here instead of climbing down. And I don't know what got into me. I thought I was young and in shape, you know, going to the gym every day. And I jumped. And when I landed on the rock below, I heard a crunch in my back and I couldn't move. And he thought I was just, you know, it's okay, hon, get up, get up. And I was like, oh, this is bad. Something bad has just happened. And he couldn't get me up. Our friends couldn't get me up when they caught up with us. They ended up calling 911, and 911 sent in a ground crew. It took them about 45 minutes to hike into me. And when they had gotten to me, they couldn't get me up. So they called Life Flight. And so I was zip lined up to a hovering helicopter and taken to the hospital. And the next thing I remember is them telling me that I had broken my back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So when you break your back, you get some thinking time.
Right.
And what I was thinking was, you know, there's so many things about my life that I want to change that I don't know how to change. I'd actually suffered with chronic pain for most of my life, and there was always something wrong with me and I couldn't figure out why. And then now breaking my back, this was like the worst it had ever been, right? You can't fake that you don't have a broken back, you know, before I could take a bunch of pain pills or ibuprofen or something and get by. But, you know, when you're in bed and can't move, you can't fake it. And so I thought, well, obviously I need to get better, but, you know, I'm not really happy in my career, even though I'm so successful. And I'm not really happy in my marriage, even though it seems like it should be fine. Like I'm just unhappy in my life and I don't know how to get there, because all the things I've learned so far is like have a positive mental attitude and say your affirmations and have gratitude and fake it till you make it. And I just felt like I was a big faker and I wasn't making it. And so I thought, gosh, I really need to find a solution. And before I just kind of ignored my pain and made money because I was good at doing that. But I was kind of tired of that model. I really wanted to be happy and I wanted to get out of pain. And so I was looking for a solution.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
Right?
That's definitely like one of those 90-degree turns in life.
Yeah.
I do not collect go.
So
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So I started working on my body first because I wanted to get my mobility back. As you mentioned, I'm a go-getter personality type, and I had 4 younger kids at the time. Now they're grown-ups, but they were younger then. And I had a busy real estate company, and I was running the women's organization of my church, and I was fundraising for kids in my community. I had all these things going on, and I wanted to get back to some of them. And so I started doing all the natural things to heal. My dad's a chiropractor, and so I grew up around that. So I was seeing him to make sure everything was in alignment as it healed. And he had a healing laser he was using on me, and I was getting acupuncture and massage and physical therapy and doing all the things to get better. But what happened is my mobility started to come back. The pain started to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And so once it had been about a year since I broke my back is when I first started taking pain pills for my back pain. So I was not sure what to do because I was doing all the things I thought I should do. And it went on for a whole nother year. So at 2 years, I still can't sit, can't drive, can't function. My back feels like it's on fire. And here I am, this go-getter trapped in this body that's not helping me be the go-getter I want to be. And so, I decided I need to have surgery. There must be something structurally wrong. And so I literally convinced surgeons to fuse my back. They put rods and screws and a synthetic disc in my back, sent me home with a back brace and a walker. 7 months later, can't sit, can't drive, can't function. Back feels the same. And now I'm, full of metal. And so now what? And they just say, you know what, like there's nothing else we can do. We'll keep giving you pain pills. And like, we're sorry. What? Like,
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be more than that. And so I started asking every person I met, what have you heard of to get rid of back pain? What have you heard of? What have you tried? Who have you seen? And I was seeing a different specialist every day. I was determined to get better. And nothing was working until the fateful day when I met a doctor, a medical doctor named Dr. Warren Jacobs, MD. He lived about a mile from my house. And I called him and he invited me over. And I thought, this is a weird doctor. He's invited me to his house. I get there. He's this 86-year-old medical doctor, semi-retired, working out of his house. And he tells me, you can heal yourself with your mind. I was like, what? What are you talking about? What kind of doctor are you? This has nothing to do with my mind. This is my back. And he says, well, let's investigate. Let's look into it. And he starts using muscle testing with me, which I was familiar with because I grew up with a dad who was a chiropractor who used muscle testing. But this doctor used it in a lot different way than my dad did. My dad would use it like he'd run his fingers down someone's spine, and where there was a subluxation, a disc out of alignment, he would be pressing on their other arm, holding their arm vertical to the ground, and they couldn't hold up their arm when he would get to a place in their spine where it was out of alignment. So it was like their body telling him that's the place to adjust. So he'd adjust it, then all of a sudden they could hold up their arm. And so when he first started his practice, he had an x-ray machine, and that's how he would know what to fix. But after some time, he put a sheet over the x-ray machine and just started using muscle testing. So I knew the power of it, but I didn't know of it in the way this doctor used it, which was asking me questions. So he would say, like, why does your back hurt? And I'm like, well, because I broke it, of course, right? Seems obvious. And he would have me hold up my arm parallel to the ground. He would try to press it down. And if something's true, your arm stays up. It's this biofeedback system your body has. And if your arm goes down, it means not true. So I say, my back is hurting because I broke it. My arm goes down, not true. He goes, oh, that's not why it hurts. And I'm thinking, what? Of course that's why it hurts. This is not making sense, but whatever. I'll do your thing. So he's like, well, maybe it's nutritional. Maybe you're missing something in your diet. And the funny thing is, I was really concerned about diet, and especially when I broke my back, how many calories you burn laying there? Not that many. So I had decided that a whole food plant-based diet was the best for me. And I wrote a book about it. And so I was really hoping that this issue had nothing to do with nutrition, or I was going to have to go pull my books off the shelves. So he tested my arm. No, it's not nutritional. I was like, whew, okay, thank goodness. And he says, maybe it's your energy field, like maybe your energy's messed up. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I'm like, sure, let's check that. No, arm went down, not that. And he's like, okay, well, maybe it's emotional. And I remember when he said that, I thought, emotional? What could emotions have to do with back pain? That's bizarre. So he presses on my arm, and my arm is like an iron rod. I mean, he can't budge my arm. And I tell him, press harder. And he's like using all his strength. I mean, he couldn't budge my arm. And he goes, oh, your back pain is emotional pain. And I'm like, what? No, that's not true. I said, I can't sit, I can't drive, my back feels like it's on fire, but I start reciting my positive affirmations. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific, just have this physical stuff. And he says, well, if you don't want to talk about your emotions, then there's not really much I can do. And I was like, okay, fine. Do you have an issue? Because I've been suppressing things for about 40 years now, and if we open that well, you might get swept away in the current. Yeah, so we started talking about my past, and it's not like I went through the worst things ever. I mean, a lot of people have suffered a lot more than me, but it was how I perceive things. And, when you're young, your brain is in a theta state. And so whatever you experience or believe becomes your reality. And so I had picked up a lot of limiting beliefs about myself that were really affecting me in a negative way, subconsciously. And I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't know about the subconscious. Besides, I thought it like blinked my eyes and grew my hair. I didn't know it had anything to do with how I was feeling or thinking or acting or reacting. And I didn't realize that stuff from my past could cause physical pain. I mean, I was like, what are you talking about? But what happened was with muscle testing, he asked me questions for like 6 sessions over the next couple of weeks. And after the 6th session, my pain just shut off like a light switch. It was like gone.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. Wait, what? How did that work? Because I've talked to a psychologist before about my past, and I didn't feel any better physically back then. What was the difference? And the difference was, what he taught me was, you have tension in your mind, which is causing tension in your body. And it typically goes to a weak place in your body, like your back where you broke it. And it's to distract you so your emotions don't come to consciousness. Just like what I would do, I'd work so much that it would distract me. I wouldn't have to deal with my past. But it was like trying to come to surface, and my body was pushing it down with tension. And so I was always hurting because of this like internal tug of war. And I didn't know any of that. So it was fascinating. And I became obsessed with the power of the mind.
It is really fascinating, especially that, I mean, we talk about the mind action on this show a lot, and I'm sure if you're listening to the show, then you've heard it in a million other places too. But that story, and really, if you look into kinesiology and what it can tell us about ourselves, it is, to me, so fascinating. I use muscle testing in my practice as well, and it's always, even though I use it frequently, it's still always fascinating to me, like the answers, the knowledge, and the dissolution of illusions that I feel like come from it and through it. It's pretty amazing. I think it also illustrates too that we are the energetic beings internet, like we're made up of everything that also like makes up electricity. We're protons, neutrons, and electrons. And, like we have electrical current running through us at all times when we're alive, and that this current can tell us what's going on in our body, right? It's pretty, yeah, it's amazing.
It is fascinating. Absolutely.
So you have created something called the LEAP transformation method. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the process that I created after I worked with this doctor, I studied with him. I ended up selling my real estate business and selling our big home and moving into one of our rentals and studying with him. And I was obsessed because after we got rid of my back pain, I went back to him and I'm like, can you help me stop taking pain pills? Can you help me like my husband again? Can you help me lose weight? Can you help me not have allergies? Can you help me not be motion sick? Yeah, I mean, the list went on and on and on.
Yeah.
My bad temper, like all these things I wanted. Find a career that I love. And one by one, we transformed all those things in my life. And it blew my mind. Like, how come I've tried so hard to change in the past and nothing happened? But then I start working with this guy and everything shifts. And it was because we were working with my subconscious mind, which is 1,000,000 times more powerful than my conscious mind. So of course it's going to shift 1,000,000 times faster and 1,000,000 times bigger and better. And so I studied with him, and then I studied other modalities of brain change. I started seeing clients and practicing and really getting a feel for it. And then in 2019, I created my own work called Summit Transformation. And it's basically, it clarifies your goal. It does brain exercises that repattern the brain and the subconscious mind that creates a new cellular response. And then we set action plans. Like, now that you believe this, or the hidden subconscious blocks are cleared to it, or you've had the discovery you need to make in order to move forward, now what are you going to do about it? And so this process, Summit Transformation, I've been using it now with thousands of clients and speaking about it all over the country. And then I thought, how can I get this into the hands of more people more easily, more accessible, more affordable? And so what I did was I put it in an app. I had a company create like an interactive session with me with AI. And so you go in and it's like, are you trying to feel better or solve a problem or achieve a goal or work on personal growth? And then it takes you get to use the wisdom of your own body in the process to select the right brain exercise for you, because your body knows the answer. You do the brain work. It helps you set action and track your progress. So that's my app. It's called Leap Transformation, leap like a frog, and it has a frog on it. It's in the App Store. It's in the Play Store. It's got a week free trial. So I recommend to people, if you want to see the power of your subconscious mind and how quick your life can transform with that power, give it a try in my app. You'll be shocked at how fast things change for you.
So then what is the 17-second rule?
Oh, I love the 17-second rule. And this is talking a little bit more about the conscious mind. So we think things all day long, right? Psychologists say we have 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, 80% negative, 90% a repeat of yesterday. And a lot of that is that stinking thinking. It's a repetitive negativity. And so the 17-second rule is about changing the story. I remember the first time I heard, like, is what you think true? And I'm like, well, of course it's true. It's what, yes, of course. And
what I
no,
think.
what you think, yeah, what you think is just what you think based on your perception and your perspective and the experiences you've been through in your subconscious program. So the 17-second rule goes like this. A thought is an electrical signal in the brain for 17 seconds or less. But if it goes on for more than 17 seconds, it becomes a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel equal to the way you're thinking. When you feel equal to the way you're thinking, it causes this chemical reaction and all these like thoughts to come to you to prove to you why what you think is true. And all of that after just 68 seconds creates this change in your energy field. So you're now attracting and manifesting what you're thinking. And so the 17-second rule is about catching your thought. Sometimes I tell people, like, set a timer for once an hour. When it rings, what are you thinking? Are you thinking something positive that you want to create in your life? Or are you thinking something negative that you don't want? Like, are you fretting about the past or stressing out about the future? How about just like feel your feet and breathe and enjoy the moment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the first part of this work, is really just listening to yourself and thinking, do I like this narration? Or do I want to create a new chapter, a new series in this book series that takes me to a higher and, I want to say, a holier path, a better place? And so it starts with, you have to have some awareness. That's something I did not have. I 100% believed all my stories, and it was everybody else's fault. And if they would just knock it off or change or stop it, or, do what they said they were going to do, I'd feel better, kind of thing. I had to get rid of all that. And I had to look at myself and work on myself from the inside out. And really, that's what transformed my marriage. It was rough for about 18 years, and it's been amazing for the last 10. So we're about to celebrate 30 years, and I would not have survived it without this subconscious work. And now it's not survive it, it's thrive in it, because the little things don't bother me anymore, because I've trained my brain not to let them. Because guess what? I married a human, and I'm human too. And we're men and women, we're different, all the things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that too, because I love that what we've been talking about and practicing in the community for years and years is now actually proven with science. Love that when 17 years old, we were talking, explaining it. I was just about Bruce and all the epigenetic research he's done. Yes, that we're doing. We're literally changing our own biology, which is also changing our energetic field and emotions and and all of the things, and it's all connected. I love it.
It's fascinating. I hired Dr. Jeffrey
Yeah.
Fannin to study my work, through brain mapping, through cellular response, and change in energy field when people do my work. And like you said, it's not woo-woo, it's science. I mean, there's literal machines that read your energetic field. It's fascinating. I love the science of it, and love knowing how to scientifically change myself into the person who I want to be, to create this great life that I'm creating.
Yeah, and the fact that we all have the power to do it too. So tell us more about our three minds. We've obviously talked about the conscious mind, but and the subconscious. What are the three?
Yeah.
Are those two out of the three? I'm guessing.
Those are the three. You got it. So conscious, subconscious, and super conscious. And so to me, the super conscious mind is like our connection to a higher power, to God, our highest self. And it's this understanding and knowing of like who we are and why we're here. And so, for example, I was selling real estate, and I was feeling like I was doing the wrong job, but I wouldn't let myself do something else because I was making so much money at it and looking good, which I wanted to look good to people, and creating this lifestyle where we had homes and cars and travel and all these things. I didn't want to give it up, but I had this internal, like, you're off course, you're off course, you're off course. And I'm just like, be quiet. I know, but it's fine. And just kept getting louder and louder and louder, until I had to break my back and have 3 years of thinking time in order to go, okay, fine. And so what I'm hoping from my story is that people will listen to the whisper, so they don't have to get hit with a brick in the head to catch on to the message. And so, if you can just meditate or pray on, like, what is my purpose? Not what can I do to make the most money, because, money doesn't buy happiness. Yeah, it buys choices, and it's nice, and you can help a lot of people. But doing what's in alignment with your purpose it's internal peace. And
Mm-hmm.
so I talk to people about, what do you consciously want, but also what is your super conscious purpose? And then let's get your subconscious in alignment with your super conscious purpose and repatterning the subconscious to support that. And then using the conscious mind to be like, okay, here's the goal, here's the plan, here's the action. So it's like the three legs of a stool, all three minds working together. If one of them is, if you're not using it, then you're like, why does this stool keep falling over? Why does my life keep falling over? Why do I keep having health problems or mental problems? Something's off, something's wrong. And what is it? In my opinion, a lot of times those three legs of the stool are in imbalance.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Something's out of balance somewhere. And it's just a matter of coming into, like you said, awareness, and really, I think just getting honest with ourselves. Like you said, like you heard the whispering and you said like, be quiet or, or will you ignore it? And I've done the same thing for years. And thinking about it now, I might even be doing it to myself now in some ways.
We all do. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. But again, like that awareness and then the choice, because again, we all have free will and the choice to either step in and step forward and step through and onto that path, or to keep doing what we're doing. And there's no judgment here about what you choose. But if you want to be fulfilled, feel fulfilled, feel happy, then you have to make the choice to do and be and feel that way. You can't just expect it to magically happen.
Yeah, it's not going to come knocking on your door. You gotta create it.
Well, I love too that, like, I mean, I don't love it for you, but at the same time, I think it's a beautiful example of when we ignored the call of our higher self or the universe or source or what, however you want to say it, long enough, eventually the universe gives us a big swift kick in the what, and or encourages us to jump off a mountain for some reason. Like when you said, I don't know what got into me, I'm thinking, I think that was your higher self being like, listen, lady.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and jump in. Let's teach you this lesson. I think it's time.
And again, it's like everything also in this world, in this plane of existence on Earth, we have the factor of time. And so it's not instantaneous. There are steps that we have to take in order to, to shift, but that's okay too, because that's, I feel like, how we learn the lessons that we're meant to learn that will then pave the way. Just like you're doing this work now, you would have never learned any of those lessons and the how to do all these things if you hadn't been through what you went through.
Absolutely.
So that whole concept of like, how is this working for me instead of why did this happen to me? I think that's also important for people to think about too. So how do we reprogram our subconscious minds? I mean, you've talked a little bit about it, but can we go deeper into that?
You've got to really, I would say, journal about what do I want? What do I want to create in my life? I love that Oprah says the most successful people that she's interviewed, the only thing that's different about them from everybody else is they know exactly what they want. So imagine the head start. They're like running after it full speed. And a lot of other people are like, I don't know, I'm not sure, So what is it that you want? If you look at your life is a printout of your subconscious program. Wherever life is easy, you have a subconscious program that supports you. Wherever life is difficult, you do not. And so look at those areas that are difficult in your life and ask yourself how you would rather have it. And then in my work, what we do is we put it into like a positive goal statement. It's going to sound like a positive affirmation, but we're going to take it a whole lot deeper than that. And then we do brain exercises that literally repattern the brain. We open the brain bridge. It's called the corpus callosum. When you were born, it was this neural superhighway. And the older you get, it becomes more like a brick wall. That's why they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? Like people get kind of set in their ways, stuck in their ways because they think the same way and feel the same way and respond the same way. But if you want to change, you've got to open that brain bridge. So my brain work does that. Slow the brain down into a more programmable state just by taking some nice slow breaths, closing your eyes. And then we do the brain work, and then we say, okay, now like 5-10 minutes later, your brain is literally repatterned for this goal. What are you going to do to achieve it? If you want to be healthier and you've been saying this for 10 years, starting Monday, I'm going to eat better. Well, now your subconscious is supporting that goal instead of sabotaging that goal. So I want you to have that same goal, and I want you to notice how much easier it is this time because of that subconscious power. Remember, it's 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. I'll give you a quick example. We went on a cruise, and I gained 10 pounds on the cruise. I enjoyed that cruise. And the next time I said, when I go on a cruise again, I'm not going to do that because my pants didn't fit at the end of the week. And so I told my husband, okay, I'm not eating ice cream on this next cruise we go on. And I'm telling you, it was almost the hardest thing in my life not to eat ice cream that week because my 4 little kids were licking vanilla ice cream cones right in my face for 7 days. And I wanted an ice cream cone so bad, but I decided I wasn't going to do it. And it was this mental battle. I mean, it was so hard, but I did it, but it was so hard. And so then the next time we go on a cruise, I had learned this work. And I programmed my mind that I only wanted to eat healthy food, and I avoided things like ice cream. And guess what? I went on the cruise and I got off the cruise and I go, oh, that's weird. Did they even have ice cream on this cruise? And my husband laughs and I'm like, no, for real. And he's like, are you kidding me right now? Like we were licking it in your face the whole week, just like last time. And I was like, really? Like I honestly didn't even notice. Because my subconscious is 1,000,000 times more powerful. And it was like, where's the healthy food? Automatically. So I haven't had any weight struggle since because my subconscious looks for healthy food. Before I eat something, the thought comes to me like, is this healthy? Like, will this fuel my body in a good way? Like, you only get one body in this life, right? So
Yeah.
I want to take care of it. I want to feel good. I want to look good. And so instead of fighting myself constantly about it, what if my subconscious just chooses healthy food? So much easier. So where in your life do you want something so much easier? That's what my process does. It works on that subconscious mind and gets in alignment with what you want different.
Beautiful. Well, I'm excited and more curious.
Yeah.
So tell us, is there anything else that you want to tell us about the app or the method as we wrap up?
The app is a free week trial. I would say go in there and use it as many times as you possibly can for free for a week and notice what shifts in your life. And here's something interesting to take note of is that it's gonna change things that you didn't even work on, because I think of the brain like a plate of spaghetti, like which noodle is touching the other. Who knows? It's a plate of spaghetti. They're all intertwined. So you might work on, health and wellness, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's so weird. I don't understand, but I'm just like getting along better with my partner. I don't understand why, but it's like what's connected to what. It's pretty fascinating. And so I would say use the app as much as possible. And then if you want to keep it, it's only $14.99 a month. So it's super reasonable. You can cash in your coins and come join me live every Tuesday, 12 o'clock Pacific time on Zoom. And we do the brain work live in a group. So that's super fun too. So, my ending thought is, what do you want different in your life? And why not try something that's 1,000,000 times more powerful than what you're doing right now? I mean, if your brain can support you in a way you didn't even know was possible, why not? You know, I think of another example. I have a fancy car that has a bunch of buttons. I don't know how they work. And for the last, I don't know, 4 years, I don't understand why I have to lock my car with my key fob. Like, it seems like there should be a lock button to just lock, or it should just lock automatically when I walk away. So for 4 years, I've been opening my trunk because my trunk has a lock button. So when I walk away, I open my trunk, hit the lock button, and it locks. And I'm like, there has to be a better way. So for Mother's Day this year, my youngest, who just moved out, he says, Mom, guess what I got you for Mother's Day? And I'm like, what? And he says, I'm going to show you how to lock your car the easy way. I'm like, okay. So he shows me on the door handle, there's these 3 little lines. He's like, if you put your thumb right there, it locks. I'm like, what? I've been opening the trunk for 4 years, and I just had to put my thumb on the 3 little lines. Oh my gosh. Right? I just didn't know.
Love it. Yeah.
I just didn't know. And maybe it was in the manual, probably, but I didn't read the whole manual. And so that's how it is. Yeah, that's how the subconscious is. You're going to be blown away. You're like, what? I've been trying this thing so hard to get to this goal or solve this problem or feel better or change this thing about myself or work on personal growth. And it just hasn't happened. And then what? I do some little brain exercise for 5 minutes and it's better? What? That's what you can expect from the app because of the power of your subconscious mind.
Nice. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Are you on the socials at all? Do people you want to send people there?
I'm all over the social. Yeah. Balanced You is the name of my company. If you just Google Balanced You, you'll find me real easy.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Jenny. This has been so expanding and enlightening, and I'm excited to explore the app for sure. So, because I'm always looking for tools to like make the personal transformation just a little bit easier. Why not, right? Like life shouldn't have to be hard. So,
for sure. Sign me up for the shortcut.
Yeah, exactly. So the you can find also, like she said, the app is on all the app stores, Apple and Play. And you can also head on over to leaptransformationmethod.com. Is that an okay place to send people also?
Yeah, absolutely. That one has a video of the app showing you how it works and tells you a little bit more about it. When you get to that main landing page, you just click for either individual or corporate, because we do it for individuals and for business. So just click individual and check it out.
Awesome. Okay. And if you're driving or somewhere where you can't write any of this down, don't worry. All of this information lives on our show notes page, which is drlaramay.com/podcasts. And again, thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. Definitely go over, check it out. And we would love to hear feedback for even in that first week, the shifts and the changes that you start to notice.
Love it. Sounds great. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We will catch you in the next episode.